What's up YouTube, and welcome to another hot and spicy deck that has been tearing up the competitive scene recently. This time we're looking at Fizz Lulu Chompers. The deck is currently competing for the highest win rates in the Masters ladder and actually across all ranks, and has also been in some winning lineups in tournaments over the last couple of weeks. And its success stems from a couple of pretty unfair synergies and combos that the deck is trying to do. But before I go into the deck in detail, just a quick mention, the deck is not that easy and straightforward to play. So I wrote another guide on this, another article for runeterraccg.com. I leave the link in the description as well as in the comments. If you want to know some tips and tricks about this deck, some more in-depth strategies, then that is going to be your place to go. But first of all, let's go into the core of this deck. The unfair combos, the ones that really give them the power spike, are basically 3 or 4 things. First of all, Lulu in combination with Flame Chompers. That has been around for a while. As early as turn 3, we can get a 4-4 challenger that is usually always going to remove a big threat on our opponent's side and the Chompers stay alive, so we can rinse and repeat that on our next attack. The second unfair thing in this deck is Yordle Captain. It is incredibly easy for our deck to swarm the board, especially from turn 5 onwards, and all of these units benefit greatly from getting the +1/+1 buff. Of course, we play a bunch of Poros, Elusives rather. Daring Poros are a perfect example. We play some Fizzes, but also just Flame Choppers being a 1-3 instead of a 0-2 makes a huge difference. And of course, if we get multiple Yordle Captains on the board at the same time, this effect is even more so amplified. And the third very unfair thing this deck can do is Yordles in arms. That's the reason for some of these multi-region cards, although they don't seem to perfectly synergize. But for example, Bomber Twins for getting an additional region in Shurima, Fizz for Bilgewater, Loping Telescope for Targon. So we will pretty consistently have Yordles in arms activated by the time we want to play it and close out the game, which is usually anywhere between turns 5 and 8. Now those are the broken parts of the deck and basically the main win conditions that really help us snowball the early game. But there are still a couple of other things the deck is very good at, and one of it is of course board control as well as burn damage. We play 3 copies of Get Excited, Pokestick as well as Mystic Shot, which means we play a total of 18 damage of burn. So in case our opponent does not die immediately to all of the elusive chip damage, to the board swarm, to the Yordles in arms, we can always go over the top and finish it. The other thing that's borderline unfair is just the thing that Bandle City always does, and that is barely ever run out of resources. Pokestick just draws us a card. Bomber Twins generates a landmark that is either discard fodder or can sometimes even be useful. Stuff like Preservarium, stuff like Obelisk of Power, maybe buffing an elusive. Can find Star-Tipped Peak, finding us more units. It actually surprised me myself how solid and well-rounded the card is in this list. Of course, Loping Telescope is another perfect example. Also 2 copies of Scrapheap, and while Mecha-Yordles have been flying under the radar since the release, or rather have been a bit weak, there are a couple of very good finds in this deck. One would be Trumpetacker, buffing up our whole board, which is of course incredibly strong with Chompers as well as our Elusives. And another one that's often going to be very good is Professor Von Mac, in case we should start to run out of resources that can just refill our hand quite quickly. Zoe Urchin can also help us refill our hand. I've seen some versions play 1 or 2 copies of Sump Dredger. Keep in mind you can also play this unit without discarding a card if you just click the summon button where the pass button usually is, which can usually be good. For example, if we play against an aggro deck, we just need a 1-drop on 1 more. We don't immediately have discard fodder. So about playing this deck, the games are usually very different, and they depend a lot on the matchup and our opening hand and our mulligan. So if we have some neat combos like Zoe Urchin with a Flame Chompers in the opening hand into a Lulu, that's of course a perfect start. Baboon is usually also a great card to have early on. But sometimes, for example, it can be great to not just vomit all of our units onto the board as soon as we can. For example, sometimes it's good to keep Flame Chompers in hand for a while until we play Yordle Captain, and then discard those Chompers or just play them from the hand, so they can actually trade on the board instead of just being there as 0 attack challengers or blockers. And another thing is like play towards your win conditions. If your opponent's deck struggles a lot with removing elusive Poros, especially if they're buffed, then you should just double down on that, go build a wide elusive board, look for Yordles in arms early on. So always adapt your own game to the current matchup and also to what the game currently looks like, and try to find one of those win conditions conditions, whichever is most likely to help you close out the game. And that's it for this little intro. I can very much recommend the deck. I myself had quite a good run in higher Masters ladder, like 100 or 150 LP in just 2 or 3 hours. And also keep in mind, if you want to refresh your memory or if you need some more advice on how to play this deck, I will leave a link to the full in-depth article in the description as well as in the comments. Also, just one recommendation, if you want to improve as a player overall, I definitely recommend you to check out runeterraccg.com, the website. They have tons of other articles on deck ideas, for example, as you can see here, on lineups, but also just guides on strategy and matchup tables and so on. But with that being said, enjoy the gameplay of Fizz Lulu Chompers.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
I gotta say, at least for me, it is very unusual, uncommon to have a different size of windscreen on the mic. But I'll surely get used to it quickly. Okay, Poro cannons a keep. Could keep both cannons. Is that stupid? It's probably not even bad. Like, my opponent's deck doesn't do much if their elusives don't hit, right?
Nature does not know. I will.
Guess I can discard the urchin. My board is gonna be 4 Poros, Boom Baboon, and Flame Chompers soon. Ah, maybe a change of plans. I gave Fizz Lulu a little try. Some horrible draws which completely bricked me out. One thing I found was that I ran out of cards quickly. I don't think... Okay. I don't think the deck runs out of cards that quickly, to be honest. I love you. I love you too, random stranger on the internet. Okay, we could go for the Lulu open attack. We could also not show the Lulu yet. I think I prefer not showing the Lulu. 1-1. Could get slightly punished by a homecoming next turn, but like homecoming on turn 4 isn't bad for me. Now that we can contest the elusive one, all of these can swing, because they don't down trade. Oh, whoopsie. You swing for sure. This is amazing for us. Loving the YouTube plus facial grooming recently. Well, thank you. Oh wow, this is looking really, really good for us. Okay, I don't mind losing Lulu here. Question is, do we poke the Wayfinder or the Cannon? Probably the Cannon at this point. We definitely want to poke now, as long as our opponent can't notify a recall. Of course, them recalling a Wayfinder is good overall, but it's very slow having to invest 4 mana again in this matchup. I'm not sure if this is right, though. Okay, now I get what you mean by running out of value, though, but I did also discard the Zonite Urchin. Okay. I can snipe that out of the hand with a Loof right away. Trickster is kind of fun for this matchup. Loof is probably best. Ah, it's a bit rough though.
Half a year of lurking.
Lazy Kiwi, thank you so much. Half a year of lurking. Yeah, that's pretty adequate. Is that Mystic Shot even good? It's not bad. Pick the challenger, he is so fancy. That's not how this game works. Okay. Booyah.
Extra hands never hurt.
And no more homecoming, no more deny mana. Okay, that was straight up silly that we just top decked this at exactly this time. Our opponent can let 2 units go through, that means they have to take 3 blocks. So they might keep the droplet alive? Kennen, really? Ah, okay. That works. Okay, we're not out of the blue yet, but I'm very happy we did pick the Elusive earlier on. Oh, come on, Jesus. What a gamer. So right now we're overriding Telescope. Which means right now we're threatening lethal because 2 Poros will go through and the Impact. Now we're even more so threatening lethal. Actually, wait, our opponent can remove... No, they don't have a Mark of the Storm. Easy game. Not even attacking with Kennen? Interesting. G to the G. Bandle 3 might actually be a scuffed matchup. That deck cannot grind us. Let's see. I mean, in this matchup, Poro Kennen is less impactful. We want this on turn 1. Apart from that, we're looking for Lulu. Yordle Captain should be pretty good. It's a bit awkward to remove for our opponent. Nice. These have a different vibe to them ever since Arcane is a thing. Like, a lot of cards just have a different feel to them since Arcane exists, I think. Pokestick open attack. Twins. Push 5. Sack Chompers, also fine. Not too bad in combination with the captain. Our opponent wants to play Mayor, right? Could play Boom Baboon. It gets punished hard by House Spider, but our opponent would have played House Spider on turn 2. What else? Grumble Slug is a slight punishment, but we can pull that aside. Sack Chompers to push 3? I don't think it's worth it. I kind of want to trade my opponent's unit off before their Poppy turn. Okay. No, it's awkward for them. I guess open pass isn't bad for them, but if they play something, it's unlikely they can remove the captain. Don't have Buster Shot. No, they do have Buster Shot activated, actually.
Hello, anyone want to join my party?
Is this a Bandle 3 deck? Absolutely not. We're trying to outrace our opponent. Ah, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Okay, they don't have it. Never mind then. Telescope by something cheap would be great. Also not bad. This card is kind of hilarious. I mean, it feels like Shark Trainer is the choice. But I'm really tempted. We just don't have enough spells in our deck. No, let's play solid here. Should be really good. We get the attack right away.
Well, just do your best, okay?
Oh, that was the wrong one. Our opponent's got eyes on this one. Damn it, misplay. Happens though. It's really interesting that they decided to make the Yordle art. Yordle captain art after me. He's got more hair than on top of his head than I do though. Apart from that, he's also, I think he also weighs like 2 or 3 kilograms more than I do. Apart from that, we could basically be twins, yeah. That's an early tree. God damn, I have too many chompers. My opponent already played a lot of removal. 2 Buster Shots, 2 Pokey Sticks. Okay, House Spider is really annoying. Everything else we're kind of fine against. And we should be winning this. Group Shot or Pokey. Oh my goodness, my opponent really has all the frickin' removal. Still think we're winning, but it's a bit annoying. Is a Yordle that heavy? Ooh, that's a really good question. He's also wearing armor. I don't usually do that. I should probably play around the loop by playing Get Excited right now. Okay. Now that Elusive is not a thing anymore, we can start drawing. Yep. Yep, this is looking good. What, do you have more removal? All the removal. Not going for Fizz is slightly sus. But sure. I mean, I guess I can still hold Mystic Shot or Pokey Stick, but you're dead to Mystic Shot anyway, you're probably dead to Pokey Stick. GG's, running people over. Okay, this is the type of matchup we don't really want to see, but we can maybe still overrun them. Just need to high roll solidly.
Come out from your shadows, demon.
I could play Urchin without discarding here. I think it's not good though. Shyvana Taric is a rather uncommon combo. Okay, in this case I want to wait with discarding Chompers. Probably open attack before a White Flame gets played. First time here, but they got it with the mustache as a legend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Long time in the making.
Are you the one?
Nice. Not sure at this point if we need to go for value or for tempo. In this matchup, generally it should be tempo, right? Do I get food stuck in my mustache? Yeah, sometimes. Especially sauces. Probably misclick Taric for Pantheon. Yeah, I guess in a way they're similar. Although one is a lot more fabulous and the other one is a lot more... What's the right word? Not really edgy, but a lot more serious at least. Yeah, this is an issue. Now the captain dies to any strike effect. I can't really prevent that anymore though. Yordle captain is always going to be dead to any strike effect, so I might as well play him. Too bad I don't have Mystic Shot here. Took a break for a year, used to be master spamming Swain Ezreal. That hasn't been playable for a long time. Kennen Ahri is good for climbing. Kennen Ahri is the best deck in the game, but it's also probably the hardest deck in the game to play. Really? Not attacking is inting, come on. Pronounced Manthian? My bad, yeah. I need to work on my Targusian. What deck would you advise me to build for climbing?
She called me betrayer.
I mean, right now this one and Scouts are gonna be very good for climbing quickly. Oh, I can still go Fizz into Yordles in arms. Or Lulu. Well, I can't quite pick off Shyvana, so Yordles in arms should be better. I could play Telescope, look for a Serpent. Then I could still Moonsilver Yordles in arms, but it's 1 out of 8. I don't really like my odds. Telescope into second Moonsilver would have also been huge. But then, okay, we have 2 good finds, 25%. If I play Fizz, it's always just gonna be good. Like, we're almost threatening lethal this turn. Oh, thanks for making it easy for me. Why would you strike Fizz? It's like the one unit you don't strike. Probably strike the Chompers. Like, the thing is, even if I didn't just potentially find Moonsilver, I still main deck 3 Poro cannons. Okay, maybe my opponent doesn't know that, but you guys get the idea. So our opponent has to block Yordle Captain to not die, and even then they live on 1. Okay, they're taking the quick way out. GG. Honorable seppuku.
The ocean wins again!
Is this similar to the Ahri Lulu version? Yes and no. It does play much faster, much more aggressively. Okay, another matchup where we surely go for Captain. Fizz can get a hit in on turn 1, but it does die to AoE eventually. Is Fizz worth it? I mean, it does require some type of attention, so I think I don't mind keeping the Fizz. Worst case, it's just a 1-mana Mystic shot. So Fizz, swing, Bomber Twins, open attack on 3. Opens up a Vile Feast. I want to go Urchin Chompers after. Okay, this pass is definitely a catalyst of Ian's. Actually, we're playing it against Shampoo. Shampoo is a solid player. Doesn't have to be one, but Endron should still be best, right? If I Endron, they probably play Ravine next turn. So we'd effectively push 2. Our opponent uses 2 mana to ramp.
I will bury the world in ice.
Could still be Avalanche.
A quest? Leave it to me!
Plans within plans.
Anything else?
Welcome to the team!
See, it could be a Vengeance on my opponent's end. Could be an Avalanche. It's fine. That's why I was considering the block. That's also why I was considering playing Lulu before Urchin. So that the Chomper has higher odds of surviving.
Can wake him up. The sun rock got me good.
Block was good. Yeah, block wouldn't have been bad. I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been correct. It's a really, really deep play. It's really hard to determine. My tank a Vengeance.
I know where I'm going!
Okay, we should win this.
Wanted a flying Poro. If that shouldn't hurt you, you tell me.
Would it be incorrect if Lulu supported the captain? Probably. I think it's better on the Chompers. Okay, we want to bop in the Mystic Shot right now to play around well, we beat Ravine anyway, but we can just play it now. It doesn't make a difference. If they had a freeze, they would have played it immediately. Triple Catalyst of Ian's hand. So the pass on turn 3 was actually very good. He's very famous. Popular is subjective. But yeah, generally he's also popular. Wow, that's an interesting hand. Don't think Does Mystic Shot keep? Does it hit anything significant besides Diana? Not really. Rather look for something like Lulu, Yordle Captain. Look at you getting into semantics? What do you mean? I've always been kinda into semantics just because I think it's kind of important to express yourself accurately. What does Bomber Twins do in this deck? Generates discard fodder, helps us trigger Yordles in arms. It's really good in this deck, actually. The other deck I said is Scouts. Yes, Scouts are in a good spot. This might be a Diana. So it's Poro. If they play Diana, we Mystic Shot Diana. Otherwise, Zoe has to die. Very good pull, by the way, from Bomber Twins. Like, incredibly good. It can high roll for real, like Preservarium is not started P can be very good. In this deck, even Obelisk of Power or Emperor Dais can be good. Because we're playing a tempo deck. End round looks good. Gonna take it slow here. When playing with this deck, what's the main thing you aim for? It's... oh yeah, it's... not that easy to play for a tempo deck. So your big power spikes are either Lulu plus Flame Chompers, or a wide board plus, like Yordle Captain into wide board, or wide board plus Yordles in arms. And the side win condition can just be like elusive chip damage into burn. I'm not sure if shooting Zoe is actually worth it. Can maybe bait a Pecos Gate here.
They forced us to choose death or the
Interesting. I mean, I don't have board refill. I probably only swing with Poro here. Heard Lulu Chompers is the high roll combo of the deck. Yeah, it's one of the key combos. For sure. Ah, that's fine though. I can't Meteor Shower anymore.
light warms the heart and lights the way.
Ideally we bank mana here. Like ideally our opponent doesn't have a play anymore this turn. Because then we can open next turn by like putting Yordles in arms and get excited on the stack, and that should just win us the game. I think I even just let Zoe hit me. Ah, then again it doesn't really win us the game. We kind of just remove the chump blockers, right? Maybe we chill out with Yordles after all. Full swing. It's a group shot in hand then. Or just tank this. Go for it after all. But yeah, Yordles in arms is not that good here if we know our opponent probably has group shot. In that case, we should probably even take this block. Try to shut down group shot as much as possible. The Chompers can nicely take out these two. Trickster is a good find. Doggo is a very good find. These are kind of bad. Oh! Oh, I can still go Yordles.
Well, just do your best, okay? Welcome to the team.
Crescent Strike into Yordles. Nah. Get excited into Yordles also doesn't hit enough. So we kinda know our opponent has a group shot. Probably not 2 because that would have been played on the captain. God damn it. Okay, wait. Get excited Chompers into Yordles and Arms. How much do we push? Oh wait, we don't have mana. I can't count. It just made the game a lot harder. Was I thinking of Buster Shot? The deck doesn't play Buster Shot. Or do you mean our deck? Amass 12k viewers. It's cheated though. Any Prime sponsored viewer count is not real because it's on the Twitch front page. Sure. That's a perfect draw. Well, not quite perfect, but it's a very good one. I let this pick off 1 unit because next turn I want to go Crescent Strike. Or I Crescent now, do this. Play Yordles in Arms, my opponent only has 1 action. That's probably better. I feel like Mystic Shot runs into a Pale Cascade. Just get excited this to make sure. Looks pretty good. Forgetting about the group shot? Not really. It's still our only real play. Like, we're not outvaluing our opponent anymore. What else can we do except for setting this up? Double pay? Get excited over Mystic Shot, folks. It's quite big. Alright, YOLO. Hope for the best. Our opponent can have like group shot plus another ping plus blinded mystic or some random crescent strike. That would be the best answer. Actually, they didn't invoke anything of that size yet. So what else? Group shot into Golden Sister? The Elusive instead of the one... What? Is it better to shoot the Challenger? Oh, actually, maybe it isn't. Could play Telescope first. It's probably worse though. Our opponent still... No, wait. Yeah, our opponent still has a medium cost Invoke. Look at this Telescope. Beats a Hush. Or like a Stress Defense. But our opponent's deck is packed with small cost stuff, so they'll probably just develop another blocker. Drag with the 2 4/6s? No, we want to remove this for sure. Only question is if we play Telescope or not. We had mana for a Crescent Strike, that's true. But even then, it's just 1 out of 8 to find Crescent. It's more about not knowing what kind of answers my opponent has here. Run heals. Yeah, they should play Guiding Touch and Star Shaping. See, Telescope would have been lethal against this answer, for example. Oh, not quite lethal. Close. Alright, time to find a true shot barrage. Oh, jeez. Minion strong. Minion is garbage. But Wild Claws doesn't hit anything. Telescope less damage overall. Yeah, but then they don't have Star Shape mana.
Follow me. I know where I'm going.
If it's not Diana, we're still chilling. Lethal with minion, I'll try.
Calm mind and open heart greet the night.
Well, just do your best, okay?
Unlikely our opponent has Diana. Nice. I'll try the lethal with a minion. Got it! Home run! Minion carried us. Minion literally won us the game.